Let's bring in our guest, Mr. Kola Ologbodiyan. He's a former member of the PDP, National Publicity Secretary, now the member of the ADC. Mr. Ologbodiyan, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Geoffrey. Good morning, Nigerians.
Where do we even start from? Your party, on one hand, the argument over venue and no venue, is that where we should start from, or the issue of multiplicity of litigations? We're going to be hearing from Justice Emeka Nwite, perhaps, because we also understand that our appeal has gone to the Supreme Court as well. That's the interlocutory appeal that was heard by the appeal court. On the other hand, we're also seeing litigations across the subnational level, the state chapters, where the old leadership of the party, some of them are still claiming to be the leaders of the party. They said there was a kangaroo congress that elected new person. So it's a mixed bag. On the other hand as well, your party is blaming the APC government of ensuring that you're frustrated, you're not on the ballot. It's so many things to deal with at the same time. So let's begin with the issue of venue, which is the most elementary one because your convention is today. What happened with venue, and why is the ADC still talking about venue on the day of national convention?
Okay, thank you very much, Geoffrey. Let me start by saying good morning to Kaudi and to quickly remind him too that we're not talking about a marquee. We're talking about Rainbow Event Center, which we believe can accommodate well, between the 2,500 and 3,000 delegates that have been expected this morning. So it's not the issue of a marquee, it's an event center. And we've been working on that event center to see how it can capture the essences of what we want to achieve. So, but the issue, to go into the issue of venue that we have raised, we had difficulties in getting a venue. And we know that it's the function of the government or the ADC and their handlers. Everyone, we wrote to the Ministry of FCT, and I have a copy, a printed copy of that letter here, acknowledged by the office of the minister. One, I've listened to the minister of the FCT, Chief Wike, saying that he wasn't aware. But we are saying that we wrote to his office, the letter was acknowledged as received, and the acknowledgement is here. I also, the minister also said that, oh, we're not supposed to write to his office. Oh, there's an agency in FCT that we ought to have written to. That's okay. But administratively, when a letter is written to your office and you have acknowledged that letter, if it's not for your office, you can minute it to the appropriate office, or you call those who brought the letter to your office and say, look, there's an error in what you have done. And the office has a mobile telephone number. The officer that signed the letter, the National Organizing Secretary, Chinedu Idigo, also left his phone number. So it is what it's the simplest assignment to say, oh, Mr. Idigo, the letter you submitted here is wrongly submitted. So ask your errand person to come and pick it up so that you can return it to the appropriate place. But this letter was ignored. There was no response from the office of the minister. There was no response from the ministry. So it is strange when the minister came up and said that, oh, no, I'm not aware, they didn't write to my office. The ADC wrote to the office of the minister, and the letter was acknowledged, and here's the letter. Here's the copy of the letter. Having said that, we also went through event centers. I don't want to be mentioning names of the event centers that we went to on the platform. And owners, they all ran away from their own business. And I don't understand this type of governance. businesses are dying. You have an offer. They say, no, they don't want problem. Oh, no, they don't want trouble. Oh, no, we cannot take you. There's even one strange one, and that one, I can't stop laughing about that. When contacts were made with them, they told us to come over and come and inspect their event center, whether it's suitable for us. Between the time of that contact, same day, between the time of that contact and driving in Abuja here, from Gariki to Mabuchi, by the time we got there and said, oh, we are here, they said no. That actually they have a function that will take 2 days for them to organize their space. So unfortunately, what we are asking for has fallen within those 2 days. Well, we kept pushing, and like I said earlier on, we have found the Rainbow Event Center. What's important to the AGC is that in the notice issued to INEC, they have said that, which requires 21 days, it is clearly stated that the convention will hold in Abuja. So whether it is holding on the streets, or it's holding an event center, or it's holding wherever, convention has to hold today, the 14th of April, Tuesday. And I want to tell you, that the convention is holding. We are ready.
Mr. Ologbodiyan, before I yield to my colleagues, there's a lot of problems the ADC has to deal with. I can almost forecast that INEC will not be at this convention. Because INEC that removed the name of David Mark and the rest due to their interpretation of the Court of Appeal will not be at this convention. And then there's subnational litigations. Who is going to be representing what state? I'm giving examples, say Zamfara, Adamawa, for instance. Who are you going to be recognizing as the people that should be part of the convention? Because at least those 2 states, to the best of my knowledge, 2 persons are claiming leadership to the party.
Well, I think the party has the authority. Number one, even before I go to that, let me respond to the issue of INEC. I am not a lawyer, but I have listened to lawyers, including very senior lawyers, who said to me that there are plethora of judgments, I'm quoting, saying that once a party notifies INEC of its meeting, of its congresses, of its convention, and this notice falls within either 7 days or 21 days as required, it has performed its responsibility. Attending the meeting or convention or congresses is at the discretion of INEC. So INEC has not denied to this morning that it did not receive a notice from the Senator Mark leadership. INEC has attended since the emergence of Senator Mark's leadership. INEC has attended every function and every activity where it was required to, including the NEC that was held this last month or early this month. INEC was there, and they have their report. So, as far as we are concerned, in the eyes of the law, we have done what is required. We have done what is right. Whether INEC now comes to the meeting or to the convention or it doesn't come, it is at their discretion. And like I said, I am not a lawyer, but lawyers, including very senior ones, have told us that in a plethora of judgment, the courts have defined that. So we are going ahead with our convention. So the issue of who is going to be recognized doesn't come in respect of the convention. Now going to the states. If the National Working Committee of the party orders a congress in any state, and this is applicable to all parties, it's not an ADC issue, and the congress holds in line with what the leadership of the party commanded, anybody outside that line who is talking has refused to fall in line. And as we say in the political balance, party is supreme. Thank you.
So I'd like to remind you, Mr. Ologbodiyan, of the PDP's woes as well, you know, after which the Court of Appeal surprisingly, it's your former party anyway. The Court of Appeal nullified the Ibadan Convention of the PDP. And amid this leadership crisis where, the INEC chairman has, advised that the ADC should not go about with its activities, especially this convention, that may render the court processes nugatory. Aren't you worried that you may fall in the same trap that the PDP has now found itself in?
No, we are not. There's no Bukola, good morning. There's nothing to be worried about in this circumstance, because, like I told you, the ADC before now had written to INEC and notified INEC about its decision to hold a convention today, and the notice fell within the required 21 days. And like I said, even up to this moment that we are on set, INEC hasn't come out to say that, oh, we didn't get your notice, or we return your notice unaccepted. So in the face of that, it is the belief of the ADC, and they have a right to that, to say that since we have given you notice, I want to go ahead. And the law didn't say that you must be physically present. You can do this assignment and give you a report. So I don't see anything, the party doesn't see anything that is wrong with that. The party is going ahead with this convention. Talking about the INEC chairman, there's no order that says that you cannot hold your convention. No. What is the matter before the court, before the Federal High Court? The matter before the Federal High Court is that Nafi Bala said that he is the chairman and that he didn't resign. But the truth of the matter is that whether he resigned or he didn't resign, the leadership of the party as at that time dissolved its NWC. So dissolution takes precedence over resignation. That's a fact. So on the face of that, we'll leave that to the judgment of the court, be that as it may. But the party, we understand the game is a political environment now, and people do games. So we understand what the party is trying to, what the game that the ruling government and their agents and their handlers are bringing forth. So they want to play the ADC out of the time frame, so that they say, oh, maybe eventually even if they won in court, they don't have candidates or they don't have ESCO, they didn't prepare for ESCO, they have not, so there's nothing that they can deal with. The ADC will proceed to elect, to reaffirm its leadership and recognize the leadership that has been brought up through the congresses ordered by the party in the respective states.
All right, Mr. Ologbodiyan, just to be clear, my use of rainbow marquee is, in line with the communication that has come across. The place is called Rainbow Event Marquee. So I imagine you're not just using the marquee, you're using the whole area, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. That is an event center.
All right. So I'm also doing publicity for you. I'm also doing publicity for you, free of charge. But
I trust you. I trust you.
But here's the point I was going to make, Mr. Ologbodiyan. I remember in June 2014, June the 13th, actually, thereabouts, when the APC, newly formed APC from all of the different parts came together, held its own Congress at the Eagle Square, Abuja. Now, you were the PDP then, and for a lot of people, they may have looked back and said, ooh, maybe that was one of the biggest mistakes that the PDP then made. But, it's democracy. You're meant to allow people do what they want to do, make use of venues that belong to the Nigerian states, not to any party or individual. So do you think maybe the APC is looking at some of the mistakes that you people made then and said, they used Eagle Square for their Congress, and they went on to defeat us less than a year after. Now, this same ADC wants to use Eagle Square for their own Congress. Maybe this might spell doom. So do you think the APC is learning from the mistakes, in quote, and I wouldn't call it that the PDP made then?
Well, the unfortunate situation, as it affects the APC and its government today, is that they are not dealing with PDP. They are dealing with ADC. And because they are dealing with ADC, they cannot vent the anger, supposedly, of the PDP on ADC. This is a different party. This is a party of a coalition. of people from various political parties coming together, of a party that Nigerians are inclined to. And that is why they keep losing support. Because they cannot decipher, they cannot discern how to relate with the ADC, a party that Nigerians are aligning with. So everything, every negative thing done against ADC, today, Nigerians believe that this is being done against them. And coupled with the fact that even the party and the government are unpopular. So Nigerians will naturally align with the ADC. So you cannot come and say today that, oh, because PDP did something from your own account now, almost 12 years ago, that they must vent that anger.
No, Mr. Ologbodiyan, I'm not sure you get my point. What I'm trying to say is the PDP allowed, well, the government, not the PDP now, the government then allowed the APC use Eagle Square for their Congress in June 2014. And then that same APC went on to defeat the PDP the next year, 2015. So my question is basically saying that the APC must have learned from that mistake that the PDP made, allowing it to use the Eagle Square. I hope that's the point I'm trying to make. But, you know, that aside, it's been said that the game is the game, right? That politics is politics. The president himself has said, it is my joy to see the opposition not do well. And it's a joy of any, I know you're a footballer, you support some team, I imagine, or you're a football fan. It is a joy of your team to see the other team crumble one way or the other. But, you know, it is also conversations around democracy, right? We must seek to protect our democracy. So I wonder for you if you see a point that is too far in all of this, because for you as the opposition too, you will use tactics to bring down the ruling party. And the FCT minister said you're trying to rally sympathy in that sense. So when is too far for you politicians? What is the point? I say, okay, well, this is too far. We can't cross it. Or the game is the game, whichever way for you.
Well, no, I don't do the kind of politics that subscribe to, oh, the game is the game. I subscribe to decent politics. Though there are politicians who will tell you that there's no decency in politics, there's no moral in politics, I don't subscribe to that. But having said that, thank you for praising the opposition, for praising now opposition, because PDP is also said to be an opposition political party. That in their own time, they allowed the APC to use every facility that is required. But today, whether the president, his handlers, or the amenders, all have agreed that no, they must stop the opposition. Nobody, I said it from the beginning, nobody can stop the opposition. No, and I still insist this morning, nobody will be able to stop the opposition. Because basically, as a people, our law says that we must have freedom of association. We should have the freedom of moving with whoever we choose to move with. And I believe that stands. But honestly, let me say this morning, Kaudi. Just imagine that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president of Nigeria. He's not the president now. He's in the political firmament outside there, working for his or supporting his own political party. And you think that he will sit by and allow any Nigerian to take this country, to take our people through what he is taking the country through? The answer is no. The FCT minister, Chief Yeson Wike, that I know, will not sit by and allow any individual, and I mean any individual, to take Nigeria through what it is going through now, under the guise of politics. I believe that he will not. So on account of that, I have not seen where the opposition political parties, particularly the ADC, have outstepped the bounds of decency. Nowhere. What is wrong with saying we want to do our convention? What is wrong with saying that we want to do our congresses? Oh, when you reference the fact that Mr. President said that it's his joy to see the opposition parties in disarray. Oh, that could be his joy. But what we are saying is that he's instigating. His handlers, his office, the party are instigating the crisis. I give you a typical example. A member of the House of Rep who was elected on the platform of ADC, came on this platform and declared that if ADC loses today, he goes to APC. He doesn't need to tell us, because even as we speak, his campaign has no political logo. His campaign is being done by members of the APC. A commissioner in the APC government is leading the campaign. So do we need anybody to tell us that this one is no longer in ADC? And I'm telling you for a fact.
Is that Honorable Abejide? Are you referring to Honorable Abejide?
It's usually whoever it fits in your mind, Kayode.
No, just so we understand.
Okay. Right. So I can tell you for a fact that in the number of days ahead, he will become the candidate of the APC. Because even as we are speaking, not one person is standing against him in the APC. So we can see the game. We understand it. But we are just pleading. Let the INEC do what is honest. Let the judiciary do what is transparent and what is honest. That's all. Don't force any party out of the arena. If you want to defeat them, go and defeat those parties at the election. Don't make any attempt to turn this country to a one-party state. Nigerians will not accept it, and the consequences are better unimagined.
Mr. Ologbodiyan, let's move forward now. There's a statement credited to former Governor, now Senate President Godswill Akpabio. He said, what money cannot do, more money can do. And what more money cannot do, the ego will do. The ego means the seat of power. If there's anything I know about politicians, there are two things that can seduce them: power and money. One of the major litmus tests that will show whether or not, besides the litigation issue and all the infighting and maybe externalities from the APC as alleged, is what happens when the primaries are done and dusted. We've seen examples with the PDP where, for instance, the FCT minister then was governor, said he's going to support anybody, and then we know how that has ended. Now the PDP has barely one or 1.5 or one governor. I'm not sure of how many there are. Are you confident that this coalition has coalesced, they've come together for real, that whatever happens, whoever emerges, that we're going to give Bola Tinubu, the president, and his party a run for their money, and that we're going to cause problems? Are you confident in that as we speak right now? Because there are at least maybe 4 to 5 persons who want to be president in that team.
Geoffrey, well, I can tell you from the inside source that you talk about money. The ADC may not have the kind of money, or might not have the kind of money that the government has. But you must understand something, Geoffrey, that this forthcoming election will not be about money that you have. Because people will take your money and use it to work against you. That is one. The next election is about Nigerians versus President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The ADC just came forward to symbolize the determination, the resolve of Nigerians to say, look, except we want to go under the ground, we have had enough of this government, we have had enough of the APC. That is what is happening. So if you like, we have seen it before now, it's not just going to happen in the life of this presidency. We have seen a situation in which a president gave out money to people to go and work for him, and yet they didn't deliver him. It's election. So I don't have this fear about, oh, they have power, they have money. If there is what's important and what this is fighting for is that allow a process of an electioneering that will be clean, that will be credible. Put the ballots out there and allow the people to decide. That is the issue. So we don't care who has money. I've said it consistently on the platforms that I have visited, that what is happening in ADC is what used to happen in the time of the Second Republic, where the people by themselves will bring out their money. They say we don't have a governor. Oh, they have 36 governors plus FCT minister. Good luck. Allow us our convention. And let us see whether the people will turn out or not. They say we don't have governors, we don't have ministers. They used to say we don't have senators, now we have. They used to say that we don't have House of Rep members, now we have. And organically, people are contributing their resources. Who has 1 naira brings it out. Who has 100 naira brings it out. And they kept going. They have been consistent. ADC is a political party that is focused. We don't engage in distractive arguments or discussions. We know the direction that we are going. And we are following a leader who has demonstrated capacity to be followed. So I believe that at the nick of time, Geoffrey, all these issues about whether they will do primary or whether... before now, they used to say that they will not sit down under the same roof. Well, that's not what they said. Now they are sitting under the same roof. Now the narrative is that, oh no, the primary will collapse them. We will get to the primary. It's a matter of months now when we get to the primary.
But before you...
Allow ADC to run as a political party. Stop dipping your hands into the affairs of the ADC.
But before you get to the primary, what is the party? Is the party exploring conciliation, especially with so many groups within the party that are claiming ownership of the leadership of the party? There's the Dumebi Kachiku group, there's Nafiu Balagombe, there's Honorable Leke Abejide, whom you perhaps referred to earlier. We've heard him say that, you know, that the manner of takeover of the party is the exact problem, that in fact he holds the ADC structure in his home state, Kogi, and instead of the leadership of the party allowing his own structure to, you know, expression, the leadership wanted to replace his own structure. So are these not the real issues, you know, within the party? So is the party exploring out of court, you know, settlement approaches to bring these people under one umbrella such that the matter of litigation can be resolved in good time before the election?
You know, let me start with Mr. Kachiku. Mr. Kachiku went to the Federal High Court in Abuja here. He lost the case. I heard this in the Court of Appeal. You mentioned Honorable Leke Abejide, that he owns the structure in what's it called, in Kogi, and they didn't discuss with him. I don't think the issue of not being discussed with is correct. People make their choices. You are in ADC, but you have said that ADC will be used for the election of APC. There are people who are in that ADC who are saying no, we will not use the party for the election of the APC candidates. We'll use the party to run for the election of the ADC candidates. That's the point of divergence. So what you discover, what you find in the cases that you are talking about, is about people who hold a different view about what the ADC should represent, which is that, oh, ADC should be used for the election of President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu or the respective governors in their states who are naturally APC, and there's another group who believes that we will not follow you on that route. We want to follow using this party to pursue the interests of members of the party. So that's the point of divergence. But when you say that, how do we reconcile the issue? There's a reconciliation committee that is on. People are being talked to. Those who want to come over will come over. Buki, does it not look strange to you that in spite of this instigated crisis, on daily basis and on hourly basis, people are leaving their parties and coming to ADC? Does it not look to you? How are you viewing that? Because even when INEC said that, oh, we have removed the name of Senator David Mark and former governor Ogbeni Aregbesola as chairman and secretary of the party. People are coming in droves. They don't give a damn. They say, let's go to the court and go and trash it in the court. So, to me, I think that is the angle we should look at. Because it's just something very clearly that Nigerians are aligning with the ADC. They believe that that is the party that will form government in the next election. That's the fact. And even this morning, I've read about a former senatorial candidate in Jigawa who has left his party, APC, and has crossed over.
All right, Mr. Ologbodiyan, we're totally out of time.
This is what we should look at.
Yes, we're totally out of time. Just if you can do this in 30 seconds, what's the state of Bauchi governor? He seems to be the biggest bride right now. He's shown his interest towards the ADC. We saw the APC visit him. He's the chairman of the PDP's governors. I'm saying it's amusing that the chairman of the PDP governors forum is about to defect. It's just an interesting politics we play in Nigeria. Anyway, that's by the side. What's it with Governor Bala Mohammed?
But Geoffrey, you know that I came out and said that with the situation in the People's Democratic Party, and I was withdrawing my membership. So I won't know what Governor Bala Mohammed is contemplating right now.
Yeah, just because he has shown interest to join your party, because he said he wasn't wanted in the APC. And when he showed interest to join your party, we now saw the APC leadership visit him. But, like my colleague...
But you know that's what the APC, that's what the APC is doing now. Like whenever we go to, they start running, they run towards that direction.
Like my colleague will say, the game is the game. We're here to not even be umpires, but to be reporters that we're born to be. So I wish everybody well. Thank you, Mr. Kola Ologbodiyan. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you. I expected you to wish us well in our convention today.
I said, I wish you well. I wish you well. I wish every party, I wish the APC well. I wish the ADC well. For me, I want us to have 3 to 4 solid political parties so that nobody sits pretty. You know that if you don't do well, the next party kicks you out.
Geoffrey, you have the responsibility to present the agenda.
No, don't bring me to the politics. I'm doing my bit.
No, it's not the politics. Just tell them they should allow the opposition parties to breed. That's all. Don't kill them. Don't kill the opposition. Nobody can kill opposition parties.
I think you're doing that already. I'm sure they are hearing you.
And as my last word, Geoffrey, Nigeria no be Lagos. I leave you with that.
Okay. This is another dimension to it. I wish you well. Kola Ologbodiyan, thank you for coming on the program, guys. It's politics, so we're just here to do our work. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.